Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we'll be talking with some creative New Jerseyans. Kerri Sullivan, founder of Jersey Collective, is putting together a New Jersey bookstore crawl which supports small businesses throughout the state. We also meet two amazing storytellers who are recent graduates from Montclair State University. But first, we'll hear from a New Jersey-based author, Mighty Mike Simmel, who recently released a new children's book, Never Give Up, an inspiring story about friendship, basketball, and overcoming challenges with invisible disabilities. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey Lisa, thank you for having me.
The last time we were together was at the 2022 Emmy Awards because we got nominated for a piece that we did for Bounce Out the Stigma, your organization. Yes. We came up empty. That's okay. We still had fun.
It was unfortunate, but we couldn't do it, but it's okay.
It's okay, but you're a winner nonetheless. And before we dive into the book, though, Bounce Out the Stigma has such a beautiful story because yes. I know it started from your own personal one.
Absolutely. So Bounce Out the Stigma started in 2005, but my story itself started because I've had epilepsy since the age of 2, and when I was 16, I had a seizure at a basketball camp, and the camp wanted to send me home. They said, you can't be here. And my parents fought to keep me at the camp, and I always kept in the back of my mind, if I was ever in a position to help kids, I was going to do it. Well, I grew into a pretty good basketball player, playing in high school, Don Bosco Prep, playing in college at SUNY Purchase, and then playing for the Harlem Wizards for 13 years. And in the midst of playing with the Harlem Wizards, I was doing some pro bono work with the Epilepsy Foundation, both in New Jersey and the Epilepsy Foundation of America. But me and my dad sat down in 2005. We mapped up a way to help kids. And we said, how are we going to help kids? And so we started with a camp for kids. We called it Bounce Out the Stigma. And so we started with one camp in Hohokus, New Jersey, and we grew it and grew it and grew it. And 12 years ago, I took it on full time because I really wanted to see it grow. And since that time, as taking on full time, we're in over 25 states throughout the country. This summer alone, we'll have 15 camps in 7 states. We were named 2019 Junior NBA Program of the Year. I was named Junior Knicks Coach of the Year in 2024. I've been named a Kentucky Colonel. I mean, all sorts of really cool awards. But the awards are great, Lisa, and getting that Emmy Award would have been great. And that's all great and well and good. But the coolest thing and the coolest awards that I get, Lisa, are when I get hugs and high fives from the kids and the parents shaking my hand saying, you did something great for my child.
There's nothing better.
Absolutely. And it's like you're on a mission from, almost like a mission from God, because when I take that incident that happened to me as a kid, I know that maybe he kind of chose me to do something for these kids.
He really did. And you just do such beautiful work and you care, which is so beautiful. And
Absolutely.
Now you crafted this gorgeous book, Never
Yes.
Give Up.
Yes.
What's it all about?
So Never Give Up is a great story about a boy named Xander Zimmons who is a protagonist. He's kind of like me because he has epilepsy, and he meets a boy named Evan Thomas who has autism, and they become friends, and they go to a Mighty Mike clinic, and there they meet other kids with other disabilities. And in the book there, we learn that differences make us special, and we unite under that same motto.
What was the inspiration for you to write this book?
So the inspiration really, I started doing this over COVID. I started putting some stuff together. I had a Tom Cruise moment one night when I woke up in like the middle of the night. And I said, I want to just craft this thing, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I just started writing. I pushed it to a couple publishers, and they said it wasn't good enough at the time. I kept working on it and working on it and working on it and sending it to more people, and I did get a publishing deal. Yes, I got a publishing deal. So initially they didn't connect with me, and
it's very hard to get a publishing deal.
And then when I got the first publishing, and then I got it to a publisher they came to my camp in North Carolina. They saw the great stuff that we do at the camp, and I talked to them about this book, and they said, we'd love to hook up with you to see what you got. So I sent them all the information. They saw it, and they said, we want to hook up with you, and we want to do it right.
One of the coolest things about your book, you had New York Knicks legend John Starks write the foreword.
Yes.
How did that happen?
We are a Junior Knicks affiliate at Bounce Out the Stigma. We also work with the Sixers, the Magic, and the Hornets with our camps all across the country. We go to 15 camps in 7 states in the summertime, and during the year we have after-school programs, weekend programs, and spot programs in different states throughout the country where we work with different corporations. And so back to John, though. John is a friend of our program, and he's a friend of mine. Became a friend of mine through our program because he comes and does speaking engagements at our camp through being a Junior Nick affiliate. He got to see how great the camp was. When he first came to our program, I could tell he was a little bit apprehensive at first, and then he jumped in and he got right in there. He mixed with those kids, and kids loved him. And then as we grew together and he kept coming to the camps, he just kept loving the program. And we started talking and we became friendly. And then I asked him to see if he would do the forward. And he said, yeah, absolutely. So it just worked out that way. And it's just a blessing. It really is a blessing to have people as kind as John Starks to be able to do the forward in this book. There's certain athletes that like give them themselves, you know, and John is just, like he was a bulldog on that court. Like when he played, he was a bulldog, but deep down he's a teddy bear.
Well,
he's a teddy bear.
You have just accomplished so much.
Yeah,
I'm in awe of you.
All the stuff that I've gotten, and also I performed on the Apollo Theater in Harlem. After I did that, I knew I wanted to get into show basketball. So after I did all that sort of stuff, my family started calling me Forrest Gump.
I can see that. The sequel is playing in my mind as you're writing down all of your accolades.
Yeah.
So what's next for the book now? Are you going on a tour?
So we're going to different bookstores, you know, to sign and things like that. And then with my camps, you know, we're distributing to some of the kids at the camps as people that are buying and giving it to the kids at the camps. We're going to different schools. So if you're a school out there and you're interested in bringing Mighty Mike to your school to do a school assembly and a book signing, you know, hop on board. That'd be great. In addition to that, just trying to get it out there as many people as possible. Stick the eyeballs on as much as possible and just get it in the hands of people. My biggest thing is I want to get it in the hands of people that it's going to help promote a hope mechanism for. Because that's why I wrote it. I know I'm not going to be J.K. Rowling, you know, selling trillion books, you know, and having a ride on Universal Studios. But the thing is that I just want to promote hope mechanisms so that people can have help and people can be seeing that these kids that are in this book are all different. But like I said, what makes us different is what makes us special. And you know what? If we come together as one, we can be unified. And that just because, and if kids read it, they can have some empathy for kids that are, like I said, that are different than them, and grown-ups can show kids, look, you know, your friends in school may have a disability, but just because they have a disability, you can be friends with them just like anybody else, and they can play basketball just like anybody else too, and we all can be one. And what your limit is, it doesn't define who you are, it doesn't define who you have to be, and you can achieve whatever you want to is, no matter what it is you can be.
Mike, where can people pick up a copy of Never Give Up?
People can pick up a copy at Never Give Up at your local bookstore, anywhere books are sold. You can go online at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much everywhere, and also on the Warren Publishing website. You can even go on my website too, bounceatthestigma.org, and you'll find out all the information about it, the background and all that other stuff. What makes you different is, like I said, I'm saying like a broken record, but what makes you different is what makes you special. And as I say to these kids at my camp, limits don't define you, your will defines your limits.
I love ending the interview on that note. Mike, yes. Thank you so much. We'll have you back when the sequel comes out.
Bet on it.
Thank you for everything you do for kids
you.
around the Garden State. Thank you so much.
All right.
Food brings people together. On Cooking with Copel, we combine culinary creativity with good conversation. This spring, we've invited all the candidates for governor to come into the Montclair kitchen, teach me to cook their favorite dish, and give the people of New Jersey a chance to get to know the individuals who would lead our state. It's going to be a fun and exciting way to get really involved in the democratic process. Can't wait to see you there.
Kerri Sullivan, the founder of Jersey Collective, has built a vibrant community of New Jersey artists and creatives. She's also behind the exciting New Jersey Bookstore crawl happening this June. Kerri, thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am obsessed with all of the goodies that you brought here today in support of your bookstore crawl happening next weekend.
Yes, June 7th and 8th.
Tell us all about it.
So it's going to be a statewide event. There's a map on our website where people can see which bookstores they can visit. There's over 50 participating bookstores all around the state. And basically there's a crawl that you can download and print out, or you can pick one up at the first bookstore you visit. And each store that you visit, whether you visit one or you visit a bunch, you can check off, each store will check off the guide that you've been there. And then you enter to win raffle prizes that were donated by some of the stores, publishers, other businesses. There's books, gift cards, all kinds of fun stuff you can win.
I think it's so incredible that you are promoting independent artists and booksellers here in the Garden State, because they are so vital to the creative community.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you want to live in a vibrant community, you have to support the small businesses and the people doing creative work, and this is a great way that people can get out and do those things.
What gave you the idea to start this?
The first thing was just that I'd seen similar events in other cities. I was traveling last year and I saw an Austin book crawl when I was visiting Austin, Texas. One of the bookstores had a promotional card about it, and I was like, that sounds really fun. And there's also a Philadelphia book crawl. So a lot of them are city-based, but New Jersey is so unique that we're so small compared to other states that you really could make a weekend of it and maybe not hit all of the stores that are participating, but you can make your way through a decent amount of them if you want to. So I just thought it would be a fun thing to do and a nice way to support bookstores and authors and literacy in general, and just a way to build community.
Tell us about your book.
So the book is called New Jersey Fan Club, and it was published by Rutgers University Press in 2022, so it's been out for a little while. And it's an anthology about New Jersey, so there's over 60 different contributors, and I was the editor, so I brought all of these people together to share something about New Jersey, whether it was personal to them or something about nature or history or just something interesting about the state.
How did you find the people?
Through a couple different ways. Some of them were direct approaches, people I had seen their work elsewhere and thought they would have something interesting to say or some kind of interesting art that they would be able to make. Other people, I did a submission call, so people came to me, and that was really interesting because there were so many people that weren't on my radar that came to me that way.
What inspired you to curate that?
Similar, just something I thought would, I wanted to read, so there were similar books that existed, but not one that had come out super recently. So I think there had been about 10 years previously some other anthologies, but a long time had gone by, and I just thought that kind of thing could use an update, and I wanted to include things like graphic novel format, comics and artwork and things like that. So that was kind of where that idea came from.
What are some of the stories featured?
There's all kinds of stuff in there. There's personal stories that people wrote about their own lives. There's history things, nature writing. There's stuff about the Pine Barrens, stuff about the shore. I really tried to cover as much ground as possible.
Well, we are obviously very pro New Jersey here. On your New Jersey, why do you love the Garden State so much?
It's a hard question to answer. It's home, and I think it's special, and I don't know that people in other parts of the country are as obsessed with their home state as we are. So I think there's just something about it. When I was working on the book, so many people were interested in writing about New Jersey in some way, and people got really excited about it. So I think there's just something about it that's different and inspires people to really explore what makes it interesting.
And so many great creative minds, be it in writing, music, movies, come from here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you think of anything, you can trace it back to New Jersey in some way. Sports, history, we have everything.
Literally, everything. So of all the goodies you brought here today, your book is very exciting, of course. What is this?
Yeah. So that's our local artist sticker vending machine, which is a project that I've been doing for a couple years. So it always changes, but right now we have some reading themed stickers that are to promote the bookstore crawl. And so we do different pop-ups with it at different locations and have different artists go through. So this is the 4th series we've done. So the designs are always changing, and it's just an interesting way to involve local artists in something kind of fun. And it's almost like tacking your business card up at a coffee shop, but a little more interesting. And then for people who visit it, it's a nice way to kind of get a little accessible piece of art. It's $1, it's a sticker, you can put it on your water bottle, you can put it on your laptop, and it just introduces people to new artists.
Your vending machine ties into the viral social media trend that's happening right now.
Yeah, there are a lot of people doing really interesting projects with vending machines. It's a movement called creative vending, and it's been going on for a long time, but obviously with social media, it's kind of brought it to a new audience. But yeah, it's we do different pop-ups with it, and just a nice way to introduce people to different artists.
Who are the New Jersey artists featured?
So the ones featured in this one, we have a woman named Julia who makes art under a name called Such Good Birds, Beth Folletti, David Lamort, Kat Schneider, Rose Schaefer, and Red Sean. And they all did a book-themed one in support of the book crawl and to do different pop-ups at bookstores with it.
This book crawl is going viral in and of itself. I didn't know about it until I saw it posted all over Instagram. You have New Jersey Tourism, the official tourism arm of the state, behind you.
Yeah, that was really nice that they shared it, and obviously it's grown a lot. I made the dedicated Instagram account for the bookstore crawl, and within 4 days there were over 1,000 followers just from word of mouth and people sharing it. So it's been a little overwhelming to see it grow so much, but it's very exciting, and I think it's going to be really fun for everybody who participates and really good for the bookstores.
And this is your first year doing it?
Yes, yeah, hopefully first of many, we'll see.
I would think. I think you hit on something here. What is your full-time job?
So I'm a public librarian, which makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Where at?
In Somerset County.
Okay.
Yeah, so I work, I do programming, and so I'm always thinking about ways to kind of connect people to interesting things and to each other and people who have shared hobbies, and that's kind of what I did with Jersey Collective and with my book as well, just kind of bringing people together around a shared thing. So I think it's really exciting that so many people are excited about bookstores and reading and getting out there and supporting our local businesses.
There's nothing better than a nice cup of coffee, a nice cozy bookstore with a good book. I don't get to enjoy things like that. I have 2 toddlers, but maybe in a few years I can again, but there really is nothing better.
Yeah, especially, the summer's coming up. You need your books for the beach too, so
Yes.
definitely a good time to go shopping for yourself or to think ahead to the holidays and stock up on some gifts this weekend too.
This was so much fun, Kerri. Where can people find out more about the crawl?
So there's a website, njbookstorecrawl.com, also jerseycollective.org, and then on Instagram, it's njbookstorecrawl.
Great. Can't wait to check it out. And I'm dying to get a sticker.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
to do this. I feel like I'm 8 years old again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I'm joined by 2 very talented recent graduates of Montclair State University, Izzy Conklin and Gloria Perez. They were part of the award-winning team behind Arizona Stories, Border, Water, and Politics. This powerful documentary series took home 2 student Emmys. Izzy and Gloria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, Gloria, you are not a stranger. You interned with On New Jersey
Yes.
all last summer, and it was awesome to just have you in the mix. And I know you learned a lot, and now you're working at Fox Weather.
Yes. It's been a roller coaster. It's been a great time. Definitely what I learned from here really helped with, getting my job now, and then even with everything I did at Montclair. So definitely my stepping stones towards where I am now.
Well, I love that. And Montclair State obviously gives you the best, in my opinion, foundation. And I can say that because I'm a graduate 19 years out. Well, 2006. You guys were babies. Right? You were born.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
tell me
Yes.
you were at least
Yes.
born.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And my studio did not look like yours. I mean, you get to practice your craft in the most state-of-the-art facility, I think, in the area that students can possibly get access to. And you had an incredible opportunity to travel to Arizona to put together this documentary. So Izzy, I'll start with you. Tell us about it.
It's a class. We're 16 students from Montclair State. We get to go to a different state in the country. This time we went to Arizona, and we just get to cover stories throughout the state. And going to Arizona, we got to cover things from the border to the water crisis to homelessness. We even got to have a little fun and become a cowboy for a day. So we just got to do a lot of different things, and it was really, really exciting.
What was your role?
So I was one of the co-senior producers on the project. So a lot of what I had to do was logistics, which most people find boring, but it was so exciting to see how from the pre-production where people are trying to call people and book interviews and figure out what their story is, I got to put together the schedule to actually make those interviews happen because you need people and cameras and lights and microphones. And then afterwards, I got to be a part of the process about, helping people really build out their stories, giving notes and critiques to making this whole show really happen.
I love that. Did you have fun doing that role?
I had so much fun because I got to see everybody's story change from A to B to C. So it's even more rewarding in the end. When we got to sit down in the theater and watch this show, I knew about everything that happened. So it's very rewarding.
Well, it's a lot of juggling, right? It's not literal balls in the air, but it's a lot.
Yes.
And how about you, Gloria? What was your role?
So my role was being a co-producer for the show, and I worked on the border piece along with Danny Mazariegos, and I took the role of really speaking to the law enforcement side of the border, speaking to Border Patrol, getting a tour with them. They took us down to the border wall. We saw, what their day-to-day is like, what they see, a lot of logistical stuff in terms of, the migrants and what they would do when somebody went missing or when there was this huge wave of migrants coming to the border. So I definitely had a little bit of a hard time getting to them because it was the Border Patrol, but I, didn't give up. I kept going. I made all the phone calls I needed to, really secure that spot with them.
You are also in the military.
Yes.
So you went to college while being in the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Did that experience with the Army help in this way?
It definitely did. I feel like they, trusted me more because there's that similarity between law enforcement and military. So in a way, they kind of knew, I understood them and, any rules or regulations or restrictions that they had. Obviously, I have a more serious demeanor, so they already knew, I would, follow their rules and just understand, if they needed a background check or anything, why, I would know why. And then also in terms of the show in general, it helped us with the Grand Canyon piece because they let all of us in free of charge, and then we spoke to the Rangers there. That was also something where I had that connection with them.
See, it's all about who you know, right? It's all about who you know. What was, Gloria, I'll start with you. What was the most shocking thing you saw?
In terms of the border, I would definitely say the migrant camps along the border. I didn't go there with that group. I was part of another group, but after watching the footage back and seeing, just the reaction to Border Patrol going into the migrant camps was that gave me a whole new perspective. Seeing the wall in person also gave me a whole new perspective and was just a shock because you see it online and then you don't really feel the effect of it until you're there in person. And then a story that I wasn't producing but that I helped with a lot was a Native American story with our other co-producers, Isabella Alvarez and Michelle Ruiz. It was crazy hearing, their stories and what really happened to them, and it kind of showed that what's in history textbooks doesn't do justice of what happened to the Native Americans.
Izzy, how about you? What did you see?
I would say the image that sticks with me the most is the image from my piece on homelessness that I co-produced with Brandon Ely. We read countless articles, saw so many pictures and so many different videos from this place, but then to actually be there and kind of see how people are living and just living on the streets, it felt like it was something truly out of a movie because there was nowhere else for them to be except the streets, and people were just kind of wandering around and really didn't seem like they knew where they were going, and it's something that I still sticks with me today.
We all work in news, right? So what you saw doesn't do it justice, with the headlines and the spin that you see. I mean, you saw it for yourself. Mm-hmm. What did you come away with?
I think really just, that empathy in journalism where you have to have the hat on of, you're telling the truth and you're informing someone, but then also being able to show compassion and have that emotion, have that vulnerability in your storytelling, because that's so important to really show people what the effects of, things are and just really bring people into your story. And I think I've really learned how to balance that, and where one kind of overtakes the other, it's okay, and it's important to be able to, keep your news hat on, but then also, at the end of the day, you're still a person, you're gonna feel emotion, and that's okay as well.
Telling these people's stories and genuinely listening to them and hearing them out and understanding them, that is something so much more than they get on a day-to-day basis of people just coming in, walking by and not even caring about their existence. So I think, similar to Gloria's point, just even talking to these people, hearing their stories, wanting to share them, I think that's something I didn't realize how important it was until we were there. And I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you won an Emmy.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was incredibly humbling, and I was so grateful to be part of a team where our stories they mattered and they got that recognition. It was so important to us because a lot of these stories do touch close with us. Immigration, homelessness, all of these different things where it really touched us, and we wanted to show the importance of storytelling, especially at a moment like this where it's not just important but it's necessary to tell these stories and really, show people why it's important to be informed on so many different things.
It still doesn't feel real, even like a month later. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, no matter what happens, like, we did good work. So whether our names are called or not, I don't care, because we got to be here. And we were up against people who's, you know, they have millions of dollars for the kinds of productions that they were working on. We did not have that kind of money. So to even be in the room with them and be nominated alongside them, we were just happy to be there. But to get the award, it's beyond words.
Well, I love that for the both of you. Congratulations. Can
Thank you.
people see the film?
Yes. So if they go to hawkplus.tv and they type in Arizona Stories, they can find it right there.
Oh, I love that. I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much for coming,
Thank
and you
you.
have such a bright future ahead of you. Many more Emmys to come.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.
Food brings people together. On Cooking with Copel, we combine culinary creativity with good conversation. This spring, we've invited all the candidates for governor to come into the Montclair kitchen, teach me to cook their favorite dish, and give the people of New Jersey a chance to get to know the individuals who would lead our state. It's going to be a fun and exciting way to get really involved in the democratic process. Can't wait to see you there.